All right, we're here at the Kia dealership in Delray checking out the EV6. My wife's due for a new car, so let's check this bad boy out. Kia's been putting out some amazing electric vehicles lately. Their eGMP platform has 225 kilowatt charging, which is pretty much the fastest on the market today. And the EV6 is one of the most accessible in terms of styling and price that are available on the market today. And it shares the platform with the Hyundai Ioniq 5, another excellent option. It comes in 4 trims, the Light, the Wind, and the GT trim in both rear wheel and all wheel drive. And the performance is pretty incredible overall. 19-inch alloy wheels and 310 miles of range overall. This GT trim in the model that we have here has some of the glossy black accents in the front fascia, as well as the wheel arches and side sills, door handles that pop out on the side to improve aerodynamics. Overall, just a nice, good-looking car. The GT trim also has some really nice safety features. It has a forward collision avoidance, and it has evasive steering assist, as well as a Bliss side camera for blind spot. The front trunk is pretty small. Doesn't really hold much. Maybe it holds a suitcase, some groceries, but there's no drainage for ice if you want to use it as a cooler, like you might find in some other vehicles, like in the Ford, for example. If you go around back, you see that the rear storage is pretty good, about 50 cubic feet overall, and that drops in half with the rear seats up. Little triggers do pop these seats all the way down. They don't go completely horizontal, but you do get a lot of nice room in a 2-to-1 split. And yeah, just pretty nice storage. Not top of the class, but certainly what's expected for this crossover segment. And a little compartment underneath for some, charging cables, things like that. The charging port is in the rear. It has an automatic door, and it even has accessory for reverse charging, which is really nice. The rear seats have to be manually lifted, so you just kind of have to flip that lever there and flip it back up. Once you're inside, the rear of the car has pretty ample headroom, about 38 inches in the back. The sunroof, which is found in the GT trim, does lower the front headroom by a little bit, 36.8 inches versus 39, but the rear headroom is the same at 38. So cup holders back here that kind of slide out. You have the Meridian 14-speaker sound system, which is an upgrade over the standard 6. There's also mood lighting you can see here. You got some USB-C chargers in the back of the seats. Really nice location. The front display driver's panel has everything you need. It has your miles per hour, has the lane departure, as well as the 3D camera. If you zoom in a little bit, it actually has the battery percentage, and that little kind of snail-looking thing actually is the regenerative braking. So it's very similar to the Honda Clarity, where you have these 2 pedals that will adjust the regenerative braking all the way into kind of a, almost like a normal vehicle without much regen. And then the main console, the display has some additional information like the nearest charging station. Also has your mileage and an adjustment based on whether you use the AC or the heater, which is really nice. In normal driving mode, you have your range as well as your percentage and your weather and kind of a not overly detailed map unless you have an active navigation. It also has a heads-up display that you can find in the GT trim. The interior is overall very well appointed. It's got vegan leather and vegan suede seats, nice accents, and you have kind of these 4 touch capacitive buttons here for the seat heating and cooling, which is really nice. You got some USB A and C up front, a little well down here for some general storage, and that Qi charger up front. Now, this is kind of interesting. The display underneath the air vents has this capacitive mode between the air conditioning mode and the navigation and radio mode. So you have to basically select between them. You can't choose one or the other. You can't see them both at the same time if you toggle between one or the other. So that's a bit of an inconvenience, and that little button in the center is the only way to do that. When the car is activated, a person kind of walked around the car, so the camera started automatically, which is a nice safety feature. And you can see kind of the 3D display and overhead display, which really is quite amazing in terms of the quality at this price point. This vehicle MSRP is about $51,000 and it retails close to about $60,000. So once you start driving, the acceleration is more than ample. It's under 5 seconds in the all-wheel drive version. That does impact its range a little bit from about 310 to about 270 or so. And it has an auto-dimming rear mirror as well. You've got really nice side view and rear view cameras, and that is helpful. Anytime you have a turn signal, those little display cameras do pop up. You also have blind spot warning and things like that. If you compare that to what's available in the Honda Clarity, you can see on the left and the right, the visibility is much better. But this is a problem with the vehicle. This B-pillar here, combined with this center headrest in the rear, really blocks visibility quite a bit. And this was a big issue for my wife when we were driving. And I don't know if you can remove this headrest, but even though this vehicle ranks really high, it's actually 4th on my list of EVs and one of the first that we've demoed. That headrest and visibility situation is a big deal. There's cameras everywhere to account for that, but overall, it kind of knocks it down on the list, at least in our book. But it's a great vehicle. I hope this was helpful. For more information, like and subscribe. Thanks again. Bye.